we're going to talk a little bit about The Crown season 5. And I feel like at the moment, I mean, me and you both gorge a lot of news. I feel like every day there's a new news story of outrage about The Crown and what's real and what isn't. I think the last thing I read was John Major was freaking out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, about a scene that featured him. He said, it's nonsense, it never happened. And I thought,
hey, listen, he's played by Johnny Lee Miller. John Major, Johnny Lee Miller is playing you.
You know,
step down, man.
You know, like sink into that hot tub and enjoy it for a moment. Johnny Lee Miller.
I know.
But yeah, so like seems like endless controversy.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't watch it, so
so I'm blithely unaware of the controversy because of the day that we're recording this. I have been up to my neck in the American midterms. Incidentally,
right.
Yeah, really didn't go the way Trump expected. Anyway, so series 5, of which I have seen 4 episodes. Other stuff that I've read has been by people who've seen more, but I got sent the first 4. So. Just for anyone who hasn't been following this, Imelda Staunton takes over from the sainted Olivia Colman and before her Claire Foy as the Queen. Dominic West, McNulty, is Prince Charles. Again, you go,
yeah,
Dominic West?
Dominic West.
I'll take that.
Yeah, sure.
That was previous, Josh O'Connor in the previous series, who was so fabulous. And also
Josh O'Connor.
Isn't he great?
I fell in love with him on the Durrells.
Oh, yeah.
Series. I just thought he was so funny, so good, so brilliant. And then, of course, the Prince Charles thing came. I was like, yeah. I mean, you don't need a casting director, really, do you?
Just genius.
Just point at Josh.
Elizabeth Debicki as Princess Diana, taking over from Emma Corrin, who is great. And Leslie Manville as Princess Margaret, who we hear in this clip confronting Queen Elizabeth about the fact that she was forced to step away from the love of her life.
Without sun and water, crops fail. Lilibet, let me ask, how many times has Philip done something? Intervene when you couldn't. Be strong when you couldn't be. Be angry when you couldn't be. Be decisive when you couldn't be. How many times have you said a silent prayer of gratitude for him and thought to yourself, if I didn't have him, I'd never be able to do it? How often? Peter was my son.
Leslie Manville, who has literally never put a foot wrong on screen.
Agreed.
In her life. So, of the 4 episodes that I've seen, there's the Annus Horribilis episode. There's an episode about the Queen's love of the Royal Yacht Britannia. There's an episode tracing the rise of the Fayed family from, selling Coca-Cola on the streets to buying the Ritz and Harrods and backing Chariots of Fire, of course. There's a lot of stuff about the isolated Diana cooperating at arm's length with the book, Diana, Her True Story. Charles's fury about it. There's the memory of the toe-sucking headlines and
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Something we all blanked out and then and then suddenly is back there. So, obviously, now I've seen, I would think of the previous series of The Crown, I've seen probably about 1.5 series in total of the previous. I've been dipping in and out. The rest of my family have watched more of it. And I've enjoyed a lot of it. This material is obviously by nature closer to home and fresher in the mind because also it kind of with Peter Morgan, it kind of brings it full circle when you go back to the Queen, so you know where this is going. Of the stuff that I saw of those first 4 episodes, I actually thought the most interesting episode so far was the one about the Fayeds, about Mohammed and Dodi Fayed, and with Salim Draw and Khalid Abdallah doing great work in those 2 roles. And one of the things interesting about that episode is the almost total absence of royalty. I mean, there are the royal connections, but it really isn't about the royalty. It's it's outside of that. And this appears to have absolutely got under people's skin. So on the one hand, the outrage you mentioned about people saying this didn't happen, that didn't happen, blah, 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 blah. But on the other hand, when you have the episode that isn't really about the royalty, it's like, oh, well, okay, that's not what The Crown's about. I think of the stuff that I've seen, I think Dominic West is great. He's got the mannerisms of Charles really well. And Josh O'Connor is a tough act to follow because he was so good. I think Debicki is brilliant and joins that list of people who played Princess Diana, which kind of got her somewhere near the top and then somewhere near the bottom for anyone who's long enough to remember the whole thing. And Kristen Stewart, who I actually thought was brilliant I thought she did a brilliant Diana. I saw the only bit of press I saw was by the Daily Mail television critic, who said, "This series of The Crown is unrecognisable in its tone. An almost unlimited budget and all-star cast has become a monstrous perversion of itself. It has descended into scandalmongery intent on inflicting every possible embarrassment on the royal family. It is now a nakedly Republican polemic, using embarrassment as its chief weapon against the monarchy." And I read that and went, oh, yeah, and I really did like it. That was exactly the point.
I can verify all Daily Mail journalists do sound exactly like that.
Yeah, well, this, in a way, did that perfect thing about you read something that's utterly foolhardy and ridiculous, and what it makes you do is you go, yeah, no, I was struggling to put into words what I liked about it, but thank you.
Nailed it.
That was exactly it. I mean, I understand the thing about being dramatically more disparate in the way, because obviously the odd thing is that The Crown is kind of like Doctor Who, is that there's an ongoing narrative, but each episode has also got its own internal narrative. Right. Remember, Doctor Who used to be a story went over 5 shows, but now it's all internal. And I've read a couple of things that say, well, the first episodes are slow, but it really picks up after episode 4. I've only seen the first 4, and by episode 3, I was fine. I mean, I binge watched all of them and did enjoy them very much. I think that if that kind of that level of scandal about it, how dare they, is, well, surely that's what any kind of recent history thing should be doing.
Absolutely.
And if people suddenly imagine that, well, up until now it was true and respectful, but now it's untrue and disrespectful, you go, yeah, that's because you closely remember the recent events and you're feeling prickly about them. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I thought the performances were good. I thought Elizabeth Debicki was really, really good as Diana. I do think that, again, that is, that's a hard role to fill. But I thought that the episode about the Fayeds was actually really well done, and I thought the performances were good, and I'm enjoying it. And then having read the Daily Mail getting its knickers in a twist about it, it was like, yeah, no, that's exactly what I like it. Good. Carry on doing whatever that was. More of that, please.
I'll add it to the painfully long list of things that I need to watch.
Have you watched other episodes?
I need to finish The Bear first. Yeah, I watched the first season of The Crown, and I did enjoy it. Yeah, I did enjoy it. But I just, sometimes you just don't return to stuff.
Yeah. There's only a limited number of hours in the day. Like I said, I think in total I've seen 1.5 series of the first 4.
Right. So you recently rewatched the whole of The Wire, right? I mean,
the whole of The Wire.
You can't just put The Wire down. I'm not really bothered with how it turns out. You need to know how it turns out. Yeah. With The Crown, I never felt that pressure of, oh my God, what's going to happen next? Well, I kind of know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wikipedia will tell me. Yeah,
but also just kind of, where we are. It's like, I know how we got here vaguely. Yeah. But it's some people have said, it's a soap opera. You go, really? Yeah. No, wow, well done, Sherlock.
Yeah, yes, as they say,
it is a soap opera. It is. Yes, I'm sorry, I was editing on the hoof. Oh wow, you've made it to the end.
So, as Cliff would have said, congratulations.
And now that you're here, let me tell you about all our other offerings.
We have other offerings.
We have other offerings. Reviews and big name guests such as
Tom Hanks.
Wow.
Alicia Vikander.
Wow.
Tom Hiddleston.
2 Toms.
If you are a subscriber, you get all the extra bonus features like One Frame Back, bonus reviews, that kind of thing.
And our new feature, Question Smestion. So if you want to keep up to date with all of this here on YouTube, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also go to kermodeandmayo.com for all the new stuff about the podcast.
Tap the link. Go on, tap the link. You know you want to.